I have been stung on the nuts by a wasp.
Okay.
On every episode of Connections, we ask the guest at the very start to give us 2 truths and 1 lie. This is a good way for us to kind of hear some stories, get to know the creator a little more. It's just a good icebreaker all around. Today I've put a compilation together of a few of my favorites, 2 truths, 1 lie, and the stories behind them. I hope you enjoy.
Okay. Oh God. I've been thinking about this all morning. Alright, so I was in a trampoline accident that left me in a wheelchair for 9 months.
Okay.
I used to race motocross professionally, but then I had to give it up until I shattered my collarbone.
Okay.
And roughly 4 years ago, I had a 3-way dude kiss to bring in New Year's.
That last one is as specific as fuck. No way that is fake. I mean, I'm gonna say that I'm thinking that the second one is the fake, so that you did not race motocross and you did not bust your collarbone, or at least not in that fashion.
Right. So you reckon I actually broke my, was in a wheelchair from a trampoline?
For 9 months? Yeah. I
For
mean,
9 months.
I can see it. I feel you're fucking with me now. I can't tell.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that for the final answer.
The collarbone?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, we need fireworks when this happens. It's or some sort of party poppers. Okay, so now we need to hear the story.
And so I went through this super rough patch when I was a teenager, from the age of 16 to 18, where I was just constantly sick. So it fucked my life up, and I became super weak and frail. I was also trying to box at the time, so I fractured my hand 3 times in a 9-month period after having screws put into my hand, and I was still in a cast. At my high school, there was the auditorium, the hall. So me and my friends thought it'd be cool to break in there on lunch break when there were no teachers or supervision around.
Okay.
And there was those little gymnastics trampolines that you use and you jump onto the mats. So we'll jumping on those, we'll doing front flips and all these other funky stuff. And then I decided that I'm gonna do a really big, swan-esque, then tuck and land. So when I landed, usually you when you land, you take the impact with your knees.
Yeah.
But when I landed, my legs were dead straight, and usually you blow a knee out. But what happened with me was my left leg, my tibia and fibula, crushed like a can. So the orthopedic surgeon said that if you were to stomp on a Pepsi or a Coke can, that's pretty much what happened. Yeah, that's what happened to your left leg. So I had to have my leg raised above my heart for 9 months. So the funny part, right, the reason I mentioned the hand story before it is because I was 2 weeks in to break my hand. So I had a broken hand, which had screws in it, and I had my leg up. I had to get a fucking mom to push me around. This is my broken ass self because I couldn't push the wheelchair because my hand was broken.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad, dude. It was bad.
And then the final one, the New Year's 3-way kiss. To explain.
So back when me and 2 of my best mates were single, we would always just go out on town. We'd always have fun with the guys.
Yeah.
But the issue that we would have is that one of the guys would always run off with a female for the night.
Yeah.
And it would run off, and then the boys' night would turn into a boys' night because he's just chasing women the whole time.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
So this one New Year's, we just made a vouch to each other that we're gonna stick together. Then we're not gonna leave each other for the whole of New Year's. And we're fuck New Year's kisses, fuck everything. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. And then so we're all hanging out, and we're all being idiot fuckboys back in the day, as you do when you're in your early 20s. And then we ended up having some chicks come around that knew us, but they obviously were hanging around for for their New Year's kiss. It was getting to late 11:30, 11:50. These girls are hanging around, and they're on each arm, ready to just counting down for New Year's. So we all got in a group, as the boys were boys, you know what we gotta do. You know what we gotta do. So then we made a vouchers then, and then as as well, all in a group. There's 6 of us and 3 dudes. So 3 dudes, 2 chicks. We're there. We just hear the countdown. It's like 10, 9. We're like looking at each other, like all like laughing at shit because like kiss from the boys. We're like, no, you're not. We didn't say it. And then like as soon as it hit 1, we like went in for the chick all simultaneously and then dipped and then just kissed each other because we thought it'd be funny.
I mean, that's a hell of a story.
Like, all because it'll be funny. We're like, fuck this shit. Like, what's a better way to bring in like 2017? Let's kiss each other. Fuck
Yeah.
it.
Alrighty. I once had dinner with Hulk Hogan, The Miz, and Booker T. I jumped out of a car doing 25 miles an hour. And I jumped over the Riverwalk in San Antonio.
Said what was it? You said Riverwalk in San Antonio?
Correct. I jumped over the Riverwalk in San Antonio.
I don't know what that is, so I'm about to look. Give me 1 sec here. I'm very uncultured.
No, it's cool. I'll break it down to you less than 3 seconds. It's pretty much a man-made canal. Imagine like, what's the canal in Paris where they kind of like row boats down and they sing to you? It's kind of like that, but dirtier. You know what I mean? It stinks.
Okay.
It's connected to nothing but sewage water. It smells terrible, but that's like a touristy attraction.
You said you jumped over it, so you're claiming to have cleared it.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Like maybe you jumped like the drain pipes. it was like yeah, well I jumped it. It's the Riverwalk. I'm gonna go with number 3. Is the lie? So please, will you tell me, is the lie number 3?
No, the lie is not number 3.
Okay.
So let me give you the story.
Sounds good.
So, once a year when you're a store manager at GameStop, you go to conference. You stay in the conference, you get to party, you get to have a good time, you get to play video games, you get to interact with people, have a great time. There's on the side of the Riverwalk by Hooters, so some stairs that goes down, it gets real skinny in there. So, a bunch of idiots like ourselves thought it'd be a great idea to bet a couple bucks of who could jump it. Your boy cleared it no problem. With a run-ahead start, mind you, hopped right over it, cleared it no problem. Because that part was narrow enough and skinny enough to where I can get across. Now, the second one, the car wasn't going 25 miles an hour. It was going 15. And I jumped out of the car and ran up the street.
I should have known that. I should have known, because I should have known that you would have twisted one of the other answers. You smart. You're a smart guy. Okay.
Hey.
All right. So that's the lie then. That's the cap.
Yes. 100%.
All right.
100% lie. 100% lie. Oh, there's more than one. I've been to Vegas multiple times. I've been to Vegas probably way too much as a young man and an adult. But that is probably one of the most fun I've ever had in Vegas. So same thing, GameStop conference, you go out there, you go party, you get to have a good time. One of the events they had, it was like WWE 2K, whatever was coming out. Whichever one had the Miz on the front cover, I think. He was the champion at the time. Probably one of the greatest people you can ever meet. I mean, the dude was awesome. He was great. He was comical. He was engaging with everybody. But if you entered into the tournament or whatever kind of contest, you got to go out that night and have dinner with him. So this was, oh no, I'm sorry, it was the one that Hulk Hogan was on the front cover. Okay. So we went out, you had dinner with him, you pretty much talked and interacted with all these legends, and you just had a great night. I mean, you didn't have, a long time to spend with them, but you at least had the opportunity to pick their brain on how the industry is, relive some of their greatest moments and just shoot the shit with them, you know what I mean? So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
I had to write these down because actually, ironically, this is actually kind of hard for me.
Okay.
It's weird. I had it backwards too. I was able to get the lies quicker than I did the truths. So, I don't know why. Okay, but anyways, so here's my 2 truths, 1 lie. I used to work for Cirque du Soleil. I can't have kids, and I've met Michael Jackson.
We're gonna go with final answer. You have met Michael Jackson.
Yes, that's the lie.
Let's go. Run that success. Let's go. Awesome. Alrighty.
So working in Cirque du Soleil, I like how you brought up like, oh, Cirque du Soleil, it's a possibility that I met him. That almost was the case. It was like it was like 2006, and they had offered him to come backstage, and he almost did, but this was also during the allegations that he was going through. So they couldn't, they let everyone else meet him, but us, the kids, couldn't meet him.
Okay, so tell us about Cirque du Soleil. How did that come to be? How did you end up in Cirque du Soleil?
It was beginning of first grade. My dad, he worked for Cirque on one of the bigger production-based things, and during the time, they were looking for candidates to basically portray the Beatles when they were younger. And luckily, with a circus acting family, I pretty much had all the credentials filled out for me. I had gymnastics, I had an acting persona, I had pretty much everything filled in for me. So my dad put in my name for them and went into an audition. I went against 3 other kids. And ironically too, it was so funny because I remember during the audition, I was super shy. I didn't want to do anything stage related. And I still got picked. And I feel like the other 3 kids, they were way more not only mature, but just more out there. They were perfect. And I thought I was just not gonna get it. And lo and behold, so I ended up going to Montreal for creation to learn the whole process, go take choreography lessons, and get more in depth with acrobats. And man, I did it for 4 years.
Oh, that's awesome. So how old were you? You said you were a kid. So how old was that?
9.
Okay, so you're pretty young. Okay, so that was 9 to 13. Is that right?
Yep.
Oh wow. Okay, so making that money young.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the other one, the second one. So you cannot have kids. What's the story behind that?
Same thing with Cirque. So, if you've ever watched the show, which I imagine most of you not, we basically portray the Beatles when they're young, and it's just going through the war stages, through World War II when they were growing up. And one of the acts, there's a lot of debris everywhere, and where I'm set on stage is on a really big, large, broken down clock. And there's a part during the act where I have to pretend that I'm falling, and below me is actually a very sharp object. And one of these days, I accidentally missed the bar I'm supposed to grab onto, and just went full frontal, scrotum to the pole, and severed it open, and had to get rushed to the ER. But during that time too, stage, how it's designed is it's got lifts, and they're very highly pressurized lifts, built by NASA type shit. And I was crying, bleeding on stage and everything. Luckily, one of the other performers saw me, and they had to shove me down under towards the basement while the stage was slowly compressing. So it was a matter of seconds before I got completely squashed and killed.
Oh, jeez, what a traumatizing. I'm assuming this was during a live show then.
It was, yeah, 2,000 plus people watching.
Did you find out right away that you were sterile?
No, I did not. I ended up doing a checkup a few years later, actually. This is during a sports physical for public school. And they mentioned stuff about it, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess just do a test or whatever. And got a test done, and came right back with negative results. So I was like, oh, okay.
How's you feeling on that?
Indifferent. I think that it's, I don't know. I mean, I guess it kind of sucks in hindsight, because everyone wants kids at some point. But personally, for me, and I guess I'm at a young mindset, but I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. I don't think I want kids.
And I mean, if you're really super interested, you could always adopt or foster something like that if you need
exactly.
to.
There's always alternatives. Yeah.
This one's going to be tough. I'm going to be honest.
All right.
You got to put your thinking cap on for this one. All right. So we'll start off. Number 1, I'd been stung on the nuts by a wasp.
Oh no.
Number 2, I crashed a 4-wheeler in Greece.
Okay.
Number 3, I'm allergic to pawpaw cream.
I'm gonna say the pawpaw cream is the lie. Will you please tell us what the lie is?
So, I have been stung on the nuts by a wasp,
Okay.
which
Ouch.
was not a fun experience at all. Yeah, I am allergic to pawpaw cream, so I just didn't crash a 4-wheeler in Greece. I rode a 4-wheeler in Greece, but my driving's too good, so
So you are allergic to that cream.
yeah. I
Okay.
used it once at school, and I put it on my hands because I had cracks on my hands,
Yeah.
like on the things here, and my hand just blew up and welts everywhere, and I got sent home. It was not pretty, dude. I had to get like antibiotics or something like that to stop the inflammation.
Jeez.
Yeah, not fun.
So now.
Not as bad as the wasp though.
Yeah, no kidding.
That one fucking hurt.
I